Before we start practice today, I used to go canoe tripping when I was younger as a kid in northern Ontario in Canada and spend my summers canoe tripping. And we would go down these crazy rapids. You know, the risk was really high. Some of the rapids were like highly technical and you could totally die on them. And so we were going down this one rapid, and our leaders who were in their mid to late 20s, um, they were like, okay, we're going to show you how you go down the rapid. We're going to go down it first, and then afterwards, you're going to follow that same route. So they went down the rapid first, and they showed us where they wanted to go, but they ended up capsizing because the water was very turbulent, and it was a really intense rapid. It was like a very high technical skill level. And we were chosen to go right after them because myself and my canoe partner, we worked really well together and we were really good at navigating rapids because we had really good communication. We just had an intuitive sense of how to go down rivers together. So we were kind of, you could say, the most skilled at navigating rapids. So the leaders chose us to go right after them. And they had capsized in the rapid. And in my brain, I was like, oh my gosh, okay, when we go down this rapid, Andrew, we're going to do the route that they told us to do, and we're not going to capsize. Like, we're going to totally nail this. Anyways, this is not the intention of the story. But so we're getting ready, and I think if you've ever gone like whitewater rafting or whitewater canoeing, there's a point where you canoe out to get yourself in place to go down the perfect line of the rapid. And there's this point of no return. Like you canoe into it, and once you're kind of like just hanging back a little bit from the mouth of the river, you can backtrack. You can say, actually, no, this water's looking too big. I'm not going to shoot the rapid today. Let's kind of like paddle back because the pull of the river isn't strong enough. You haven't gone too far down. And so we're paddling up, and I'm like, holy fuck, because you never realize how big the water is until you're right above the river. So we're paddling up. I'm in the front of the canoe. Andrew's in the back of the canoe. And we're paddling up, and I'm like, oh my God, this is freaking massive. And so Andrew and I always had this ritual of like, when we got to basically the point of no return, which is where the force of the rapid just kind of sucks you in. We kind of pull up to it, and you can see the ripples and the currents along the side. And I just remember being like, you ready, Andrew? And I just remember hearing him take a big breath and be like, yep. And then it's all of a sudden you just feel the river. It's kind of like you and the river make this conscientious decision that you're committing to one another. And the water just sucks you in, and that's the point of no return. And you just have to commit to it, and there can't be any hesitation, and you just have to go for it. Otherwise, if you hesitate or you avoid, you can really screw yourself up because it can pivot the canoe and you can go down the river sideways. So you just have to be fully committed and present. Anyways, we went down the river. We totally capsized the canoe. The canoe got sucked under a rock. It disappeared. Andrew and I were thrown into the river. We thought we were going to die. It was a huge mess. The canoe ended up being catapulted out of the river. It was torn in half. We were halfway through our month-long canoe trip, so after we got out of the rapid, we were okay. We had like scratches and cuts and stuff from the rocks, but we had to sew the canoe up. It's not the point of the story, but it's a really interesting story. Anyways, the point of the story is the yoga philosophy, the classical yoga philosophy starts with, we have to start with a commitment. We can't hesitate. The beginning of the Yoga Sutras starts with the word atta, which means now. And it's the practice of, can I commit full-heartedly to this moment without any hesitation? And I think sometimes we don't always allow ourselves to go there because there's no risk. Like when you're in front of a whitewater rapid, you're like, okay, I have to be fully committed to this. Otherwise, there's the risk of death. But with yoga, it's like, I might not commit to it so much because, if I get tired, I'll just turn Duncan off and go for a nap or watch Netflix or something. But there's a power, there's a boldness, there's an energy that comes to fully committing to something 100%. So I'd like us to set the intention that for the next hour, we commit ourselves 100% to this practice with all of our attention, with all of our body. Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, he says, Until one is committed, there is a hesitancy, there's the chance to draw back. And so can you allow this to be a new beginning and commit yourself full-heartedly to it? We're going to be working with backbending today. So with backbending, basically we want to have as much movement from the hips and from the shoulders as possible so that we can distribute the load throughout the entirety of the body rather than it being concentrated specifically in the lower back. So we're trying to get as much movement through the shoulder girdle without dumping into the lower back, just as much movement through the shoulder and as much movement through the hips while maintaining some form of containment through here. Come to your mat. Please take a comfortable seat. So this is an Align Level 3 class. Here, I'll tilt my screen down, sorry. This is an Align Level 3 class, which means we focus a little bit more on holds and on weirder poses, and we don't do as much flow. So please come to a comfortable seat. You know, if at any point during today's class something doesn't feel right, please just skip it. You know, take care of yourself. Commit 100% to the practice, but it doesn't mean you have to do everything. Once your eyes are closed, please take a deep breath in and a full breath out. Until there is commitment, there is hesitancy and a chance to draw back. Can you allow yourself to commit fully to this moment? Bring all of your attention to your body and your mind right here, right now. You take 3 more breaths. And gently blink your eyes open. If you have 2 blocks, great. If you don't worry about it. And also what may be helpful today is also a strap if you have one. If you don't have a strap, a towel can always be helpful as well. If you don't have any of these things, then don't worry about it. Please step your left foot forward, your right foot back, come right into a lunge. Bend into your left knee. Press your right thigh up nice and strongly. And your hands can be on your blocks, or your fingertips can be on the ground, or your palms can be flat on the floor. Usually first thing I like to use blocks. It just makes life a little easier. Can you bend into the left knee? Press your right thigh vigorously up towards the sky and reach the center of the chest forward. And then I'd like you to look back towards your belly button and scoop your lower belly up away from your left thigh. Draw your front low ribs in. Push the floor away. So when we have tight hip flexors, they can often pitch the pelvis anteriorly. So I'd like you to try to draw your belly in and lift your frontal hip points up as you keep pressing that right thigh up. Take 5 more breaths. 4. And 3, really focus on your breathing. Push your hands into the floor. So there's a little bit of a rounding through the lower back. You're really pulling your belly in, drawing the front ribs in as you press that right thigh up to the sky. 2, can you bend a little more into your left knee? And squeeze your inner thighs towards the midline. Keep that back leg straight. 1 last breath in. Keep pushing through the hands. Keep scooping the belly in. Keep your right leg straight. And please step your right foot forward. Step your left foot back. Right into the other side. Bend into your left knee.
Press your left thigh up. Okay. And as you push your hands into the ground, look back a little towards your belly button. Scoop your lower belly in and try to lift almost your frontal hip points, your ASIS, up, away from the ground, while keeping your left leg absolutely straight. So they get more of a release through the hip flexors. And as you press that left thigh up, you keep pushing your hands down and go low into your legs. Squeeze your inner thighs towards each other. Take 3 more breaths. Can you focus on your breathing? Can you commit 100% to the pose? There's no hesitancy. There's no chance of drawing back. You're totally present. You're totally here. 2 more breaths. One more deep inhale. Full exhale. And step your right foot back, step your left foot forward, switch sides again. Okay. Go into your left knee, press your right thigh up nice and strongly. This time, elongate your spine a little more forward, so there's more length through the spine. Keep bending into your left knee. So we're warming up the legs. Press the right thigh up. Good. Look straight down at the floor. Keep the back of your neck long. And now reach both arms overhead. Biceps level with your ears. Squeeze your inner legs towards each other. So it'll be helpful for the pelvis if you can think about the inner thighs hugging towards the midline of the mat. Lift your arms up so they're level with your ears. Turn the palms up. Can you commit 100% to this pose? 4 more breaths. Breathe. Squeeze the right glutes. Press the right thigh up. Straighten those arms. Lift your arms up overhead, but keep the low ribs pulled in. 2 more breaths. Stay with it. 1 last deep inhale. Exhale, hands down, and switch sides. Right foot steps forward. Left leg steps back. Stay low in the legs. And inhale, reach both arms overhead. Good. Hold for 5. Commit fully to it. Bend into the front knee. Press that back thigh up, up, up. Squeeze the glutes. Lift the arms up. Try to get those arms level with your ears. Pull the front lower ribs in. 2 more breaths. You've got this. Okay, 1 last breath in. Squeeze the inner thighs to the midline. Lift the arms. Both hands down. Step forward to a kneeling position. Take your knees so they're hip width wide. If you have a block, place the block between your feet at its widest width. Place your hands on your thighs. Okay, and you're going to try to keep your knees, your hips, and your shoulders all in one line so we're not back bending. I want you to take your hands to your tailbone and imagine as if you're a dog and you're scared and tuck your tail underneath you. So much so your glutes engage. Good. And now take your hands to your front low ribs, hands to the front of the lower ribs, and draw them down. So there's a lot of containment here. And then hands to your hip points and lift your chest. Broaden the collarbones. Now keep the ribs in, keep the butt strong, put your hands on the front of your thighs. This is not a back bend, it's only a lean back. So can you hinge back from the knee joint and then come back forward. Lean back from the knee joint and then come forward. So it's like you're in the Matrix, you're leaning back to avoid a bullet, but you're not back bending. Do 3 more. So we're using the eccentric strength of the quads, which is really important in back bends. Lean back, come forward, Can you go a little deeper? 2 more times. Lean back. Keep pushing the tops of your feet down. Come forward. Last one. Lean back to a point that you can hold. Remember, we're not back bending. You're tucking your tail. Your lower ribs are pulled in. Your shoulder, your hips, and your knee are in a line. And then come forward. Good. Release, hands on the ground. Put the blocks to the side. Downward dog pose. Take a deep breath in downward dog. And a full breath out. Bend your right knee, let your left heel drop heavy. Take a deep inhale. And a full exhale. Switch sides. Bend your left knee, your right heel drops heavy. Take a deep inhale. And a full exhale. Downward facing dog pose. Both legs straight. Push strongly through the hands. Bend your elbows out to either side. So your elbows go wide apart. And then hug your elbows. Bring your elbows towards each other. So you're externally rotating the arms. Good. And now straighten the arms. Keep those arms externally rotated. Push strongly through the inner hand. The thumb and the index finger. Claw all 10 fingertips against the ground. Press the tops of your thighs back and up. Your lower ribs pull gently in. Eyes are focused on one spot between your feet. And then can you allow yourself to commit fully to the pose? Are you avoiding the pose? Is there hesitancy? Are you drawing back? Can you be fully here? Taking deep inhales, long exhales. Keep rolling the inner thighs back and up. Keep sending the tops of the thighs high to the sky so the sit bones go high. Gently draw the lower ribs into the spine. Steady breath into your body. Steady breath out. 3 more breaths. Let your mind be totally focused on your breathing. One last breath. Good. Please come forward to plank pose. Stack your shoulders right over your wrists. Do not let your pelvis or your torso move. Lift your right leg up. Can you lift your right ankle as high as it will go without moving from the pelvis? So for most of us, it's not that high. The pelvis does not move. Lift your right ankle to the point where your pelvis might move and lower the right foot down. Lift your left leg up as high as it will go without moving the pelvis. And then lower it back down. Good. Lift the right leg up to the point where the pelvis will not move. It's just on the edge. Come onto your left fingertips. Left fingertips. Take a deep breath in. Full breath out. Good. Right foot down, left hand down. Other side. Lift your left ankle up. Bring it just a little higher than the left hip. Keep the pelvis stable. We're just moving the arms and the legs, not the torso, not the pelvis. Come onto your right fingertips. Take a deep breath in. Good. Hand down, foot down. One more time. Inhale, right leg up. Come onto your left fingertips. Option to stay there or reach your left arm overhead. Hold for 3. Breathe. 2. And 1. Hand and foot come down. You're doing really good. Other side. Lift your left foot. Come onto your right fingertips. Stay here or reach the arm overhead. Hold for 3. Hold for 2. And 1. Good. Hand and foot come down. Come onto your knees. Child's pose. Take a steady breath in. And a steady breath out. Headstand. Please interlace your hands together. Elbows and forearms are on the ground. If you're not doing a headstand today, you can do dolphin pose. Otherwise, head will come to the floor. Tuck your toes, lift your knees off the ground, walk your feet in, and up you go. Once you're upside down, if you're upside down, roll the upper inner thighs back. So much so your feet go a little pigeon-toed. And then from there, try to lengthen your tailbone up towards your heels, creating more space in your lower back and engaging the glutes. Then squeeze your legs together. Push the elbows and forearms into the ground. Draw the front lower ribs in. Can you find containment through the core? Breathe. 10 more slow breaths. 9. 8. Can you keep your breathing slow, deep, and controlled? 7. If there's ever any strain in the neck, it's just a sign that today you need to come down. Really honor your body. 5 more breaths. 4. Try to have the majority of the weight in the arms. So much so you can lift your head off the ground. 3. 2. Good. 1 last breath in. Lower your legs halfway down, pike pose. Hold in pike, take a deep breath in. And exhale, feet down. And come onto your hands and knees. Inhale, look forward, tilt the sit bones up, open your chest to the front. Exhale, push your hands and knees down, round through your back. 1 more time. Inhale, look forward, tilt the sit bones up. And exhale, round through the spine. If you have a block, grab one. Place it between your hands. If you don't have a block, tent your hands together. Put your fingertips together and kind of make like a big tent with all the 10 fingertips touching. So the hands stay roughly block distance wide. If you have a block, place it at its widest width between your hands. Elbows are shoulder distance wide. Walk your knees back so they're underneath your hips, if not slightly behind. Let your chest soften down towards the ground. Let yourself be passive for a moment. Your forearms are vertical. Take a steady breath into your body and a steady breath out. Now, can you bring your hands closer towards your shoulder blades so that you're actively bending at the elbows, trying to bring the hands as close towards the shoulders as you can? Can you let your chest soften down towards the ground a little bit more? Can you tilt the sit bones a little higher to the sky? Take 3 more breaths. Try to get your breastbone towards the floor. 2, try to get your hands to touch your shoulder blades. Actively flex your biceps. Bend at the elbows. Try to get your hands or the block close towards your shoulder blades. Chest towards the ground. Good. Now bring your forearms so they're vertical again. Okay, and we're going to resist this position. So instead of being passive, I want you to push your elbows down. Lift your head off the ground. Try to move your chest away from the floor. Draw your front lower ribs in. So remember at the beginning of class how I said we want to find more movement through our shoulders and less through our spine, so that when we back bend, our shoulders are nice and open. So right now, can you pull your front low ribs in? So much so there might be a little bit of rounding, doming in your back. Try to keep your spine that contained, and now try to get your armpits a little closer to the floor, keeping your front low ribs pulled in. Pull your front low ribs in, as if there's a little baby chihuahua underneath your belly, closer towards your lower ribs. And the little baby chihuahua is a yappy one, and it doesn't want to get squished, so it's barking at you to pull your front low ribs in as you send your armpits to the ground. Take 1 more inhale. Full exhale. Good. Come up. Come right into a forearm plank. Keep the block between the hands if you have one. Forearm plank. Shoulders are right over the elbows. Forearm plank. Center of the chest forward. Shoulders away from your ears. Lower ribs pull in. Steady breath in. Steady breath out. 4 more breaths. Eyes are focused. Breath is steady. Keep the pelvis level with the shoulders. 2 more breaths. Good. Shift your shoulders so they're a little bit forward of the elbows. So we get a little more into the anterior deltoids. Chest a little more forward. Good. Belly comes down towards the ground. Sphinx pose. Elbows are just slightly in front of the shoulders. Pull your chest forward and through. Turn your palms to the ground. Pull your hands and your elbows back against the mat to try to bring your chest more forward. Draw the heads of the shoulders back. Press your pubic bone, where your genitals are, down into the ground. Now can you pull your chest a little more forward? So in back bending, we want to try to get as much movement through the upper back, through the shoulders and the hips as possible. So think about opening your upper back right now by drawing your shoulders back, bringing the chest forward. Keep everything as it is. Float your hands right back beside your lower ribs for cobra pose. Can you hover your hands off the ground? Look down slightly so the back of your neck is long. Draw your shoulders away from your ears. 3 more breaths. Can you get your chest higher? 2, can you get your upper back higher? Just using your back muscles, not your hands. 1 more breath. Can you get your chest higher? Lift, 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 lift. Everything lifts. Good. And then exhale, hands down towards the ground. Please push back, downward dog pose. Take a steady breath into your body and a steady breath out. Deep inhale and a full exhale. Step your right foot forward between your hands. Stay low in the legs. So remember the lunges at the beginning of class. Bend into your front knee. Press your back thigh up. Inhale, both hands up towards the sky, full crescent. Can you go a little bit lower into the legs? Reach up a little higher through the arms. Pull the lower ribs in. Put your right hand on your front low ribs. Put your left hand on your sacrum, kind of the base of your spine. Mid to lower butt region. Lengthen your tailbone down. Let's all bend our back knee a little bit. Lengthen the tailbone down. Pull the front lower ribs in. Now can you keep that? Go a little lower in the legs. Keep your hands where they are. Now try to straighten that back leg without moving everything too much. Go a little lower in the legs. Try to straighten that back leg. Lower ribs pull in. Can you go a bit deeper into your front thigh? Pull the right thigh bone back into the hip. Pull the left thigh bone forward into the hip. Keep the low ribs pulled in. So this engagement through the core here will help you go deeper into your hips. So that when we get to back bending, our hips are nice and open. Good. Now can you maintain this? Inhale, both arms up. Lower ribs pull in. Go a little lower in the legs. 5 breaths. 4, squeeze the inner thighs to the midline. 3, 2. Good, 1 last breath. Exhale, hands come down. Step back, downward dog pose. Take a deep breath in. Steady breath out. Step your left foot forward. Here we go, crescent lunge. Come all the way up. Bend into your left knee. Press that back thigh up. Reach up through the arms. Good. Left hand to your front low ribs. Right hand to your sacrum, tailbone region. Put a little bit of a bend in your back knee. Now pull your front lower ribs in. Lengthen your tailbone straight down. Okay. Now just look at your left leg, your left thigh. Draw it back a little into your hip socket. Good. Suck your right thigh up a little, up into the hip socket because the back knee is bent. Now pull your lower ribs in more. Tailbone descends down. Push your butt flesh down. Now try to keep all of that straight in your back leg. Go lower into the legs. Keep the low ribs pulling in, the butt flesh going down. Inhale, both hands up. You can go lower in your legs. Pull the left thigh back, right thigh forward. Focus your eyes on one spot, breathe. Go a little bit deeper. Reach up a little bit higher, reach up through your arms. We're gonna do a handstand eventually. So you wanna make sure you can straighten those arms straight up to the sky. Good, and then both hands come down towards the ground. Well done. Downward dog pose. Take a full breath into the body. Full breath out. Both knees come to the ground. Option to put your hands around a block, Pincha Mayurasana, or dolphin pose. Hands around your block. Tuck your toes. Lift your knees off the ground. Send your right leg to the sky. Kick up. Hold for 5, 4. Inner thighs roll back. Tailbone lifts up. Low ribs pull in. 3, breathe. 2, can you stay focused and steady? 1 last breath. Good, come down. Seated meditation, please close your eyes. Choose a seat that's comfortable. Take 3 breaths. 2. 1 last breath. Hands back down to the ground, Pincha Mayurasana, other side. Left leg lifts up, up you go. So if you're not in Pincha, you're just doing dolphin, you can use the wall if you need to. We're here for 5 breaths. Roll the inner thighs back, lengthen the tailbone up. For 5, focus your eyes on one spot. 4, 3, 2. 1 last breath. Good, and then come all the way down. Downward dog pose. Take a steady breath in and downward dog. Steady breath out. Right foot steps forward. Inhale. Both hands up, crescent lunge. Can you find the depth in the front leg? Stretch that back leg up nice and high. Arms are up nice and tall. Steady breath into the body. Complete breath out. Keep the depth in the legs. Keep the pelvis in neutral, the frontal hip points lifting, the low ribs pulled in. Bring your hands to your chest. Lean forward, twist to the right. Left elbow to the outside of your right knee. Bring your palms together. Now, if you can, take your left hand down towards the ground, right hand up towards the sky. Or if it's available to you, full bind. Internally rotate the left arm, take the right hand across the back, and clasp hands. Or right hand catches left wrist. Hold for 5. Left hand catches right wrist. 4, keep pressing the left thigh up. 3, keep bending into the right knee. Turn the chest to the right, lean back away from the right wall. Keep pressing the left thigh high to the sky. 1 more deep inhale. And exhale, release both hands to the ground. Step your left foot forward about a foot, so both legs are straight. Pyramid pose, straighten both legs. Fold over your right leg, walk your fingertips forward. Push your hands forward and down. As you fold over your right thigh, let your head release. For 5. 4. Lift the inner arches of both feet. Press all 10 toes down. 3. 2. One last breath. Well done. Please step your left foot forward, step your right foot back. Crescent lunge, inhale. Come all the way up. Bend into your front knee with joy. Press that back thigh up nice and straight. Keep both hips facing forward. Stretch the arms up. Can you go low on the legs and keep pressing the right thigh vigorously up to the sky. Stretch the arms up. Pull the lower ribs in. Can you go a little lower in the legs? Pull the left thigh back into the hip socket. Pull the right thigh forward. Ribs in, arms up higher. Good. And then exhale, hands to your chest. Lean forward. Hey, twist towards the left. Right elbow to the outside of your left knee. Stay here. Or right hand comes down towards the ground. Left hand up towards the sky. Stay there. Or full bind. Right arm underneath the leg. Left hand across the back. Can you keep the bend in the front knee? Keep pressing the back thigh up. Turn the chest to the left. For 5, 4, 3. Right thigh keeps pressing up. Bend into your left knee. Lean back away from the direction you're twisting. 2. Good. One last breath. Both hands to the ground. Straighten both legs. So step your back foot in a foot or two. Pyramid pose. Walk both hands forward. Forehead to the shin. Hold for 5. Push down through both feet. All 10 toes press into the ground. Lift the inner arches of the feet. Try to find more length in the spine. Push the fingertips down. 3 more breaths. 2. And one last breath. Exhale, release. Step back, come onto your hands and knees. All right, we're almost there. We're almost ready for our back bends. We're gonna do a handstand. Are you ready for it? A 1-minute handstand. 1 minute. A full 60 seconds. Commit to it. If you need to use the wall, you can use the wall. Find some wall space. If you can't do a full minute handstand, then that's fine. Just stay up as long as you can, come down, take a rest, and then join back in. So, handstand, let's do it. I'll put the timer on the microwave. Ready, set, time. Let's do 1 minute exactly. Start. Okay, you have 1 minute. Up you go. Focus on your breath. Push the floor away. Don't be too hard on yourself. Focus. Be lighthearted, but focus. Eyes are steady. Breath is steady. Keep pushing the floor away. Breathe. If you need to take a break, take a break. Then come back in. Squeeze the legs together. Push through the fingertips. Steady breath. You're doing good. We're almost there. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Almost there. Stay with it. Focus. Breathe. We're done. Good job. Come out. Oh, well done, everyone. Please step your right foot forward. Please step your left foot back. We're going to come right into a thigh stretch. So please turn your right knee and your right foot out about 45 degrees. Come down onto the left forearm. Reach your right hand back, catch your left foot. Now lift your butt up towards your left heel. And then try to scoop your lower belly in, lifting the frontal hip points. Then turn your chest towards the right. So a little bit more of a twist. We'll get a little more into the psoas. Then can you let the pelvis soften down, keeping the butt and the heel close together. 3 more breaths. 2. Okay, one last deep breath in and out, release. Okay, switch sides. Right knee comes down, come onto your forearms. Reach back with your left hand, catch your right foot. Try to lift the heel up towards the butt, lift your right butt up to your right heel. Try to keep that connection, then let the pelvis soften. Then open your chest towards the left. 3 breaths. 2. Good, one last deep inhale. And a full exhale. Okay. Please come right onto your bum. Take your feet out in front of you. And please lie down onto your back. Bend both of your knees so your heels are close towards your bum. Hands are down beside your hips. Press down into your feet. Lift your pelvis up towards the sky. Now, lower your pelvis about 10 centimeters, so it's not as high. Roll your upper inner thighs towards the floor. And then lengthen your tailbone forward towards the backs of the knees. And then can you lift the thighs and the pelvis, everything up a little higher. Push the shoulders down and open and lift through the chest. Take 3 more breaths. 2, push the shoulders down to open across the chest. And one last deep inhale. And a full exhale. And then come all the way down. Take a moment to pause. So we'll be doing quite a bit of back bending. If at any point it doesn't feel quite right, just take a moment to take a break. You don't have to do everything I'm teaching. You can still be 100% committed and with us without needing to do absolutely everything that's being offered. Right? So if it feels like it's too much for you today, then honor that. Stay with bridge pose. Take a moment to rest. Join back in when it feels appropriate. Please lift your pelvis back up. Take your hands beside your ears. If not, then hands beside the hips. Come to the top of your head. Pause. Keep the knees hip width. Roll the inner thighs down. Lengthen the tailbone to the backs of the knees. Hug the elbows in. Push up, Urdhva Dhanurasana. Hold for 5. Can you keep your breath steady? 4. Push the feet and the hands down. Lift everything up. 3. Breathe. 2. Focus on your breath. Breathe into the thoracic spine, into the ribs. Okay. One last deep breath in. Exhale, roll all the way down to the ground. Take a moment to pause. On your back, take a full breath in. And out. Take a moment to check in with your body. How's it doing? Set your feet hip distance wide. Take your hands up beside your ears. If you need to modify. Lift your pelvis. Then come to the top of the head. Hug the elbows in, hug the knees in, push up. Hold for 5. Focus on deep breaths. 4. Breathe. Push the hands and the feet down to lift everything up higher. 3. 2. And then 1. Come all the way down. Pause. Have a moment to check in. How's your body doing? Modify if you need to. Take a break if you need to. Otherwise, hands up beside your ears. Again. Backbend extravaganza. Lift the pelvis up. Good. Maybe come to the top of your head. Push up. Take a full inhale. Full exhale. Now listen. Bring your head back down. Bring your hands closer towards your feet. Good. And then push back up. Going a little deeper into your back bend. Hold for 5. Keep the breath steady. 4. Straighten the arms if you can. 3. Push through the hands and the feet. 2. And then come all the way down. Take a moment to pause. Be honest with yourself. You know, be 100% committed to this practice while honoring your body. If you need to rest, stay here. Be 100% committed to resting. If you need to modify, 100% commit to a modification. Otherwise, hands up beside your ears. This time we're going to do 6 Urdhva Dhanurasana push-ups. Lift your pelvis up. Come to the top of your head. Place your hands. Push all the way up. Take a full breath in. Here we go. Head comes down. Push back up. That's 1. Head comes down. Push back up. 2. We're doing 4 more. Head comes down. Push back up. 3. 3 more. Head comes down. Push back up. 4. 2 more left. Come down. Push up. Last one. Come down. Push up. Stay up. Straighten both arms. Try to straighten both legs. Take a full inhale. And then come all the way down. Well done. Take a moment to pause. To give the body a chance to digest what happened. Settle. Breathe. Hands behind your head. Lift your head and shoulder blades off the ground. Bring your shins so they're parallel to the floor, knees right over your hips. Just an opportunity to find a little more containment through the core, through the abdomen. Shoulder blades off the ground. Should feel kind of weirdly nice. Shoulder blades off the ground. Hold for 5. Knees over the hips. Shins parallel to the floor. Hold for 4. Shoulder blades up. 3. 2. And 1 last breath. Get the shoulder blades up, 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 up. Good. And then rock yourself all the way. All right. Bring your right knee forward towards your right wrist. Left leg back, pigeon pose. So scooch the left leg way back. So I'll be honest with you, the video stopped recording halfway through. So, well, right at the 1 minute handstand. So when I was filming this live for Zoom, I didn't realize that, obviously. So I get to repeat the 1 minute handstand and everything following, including all these back bends. So this is the second time doing it within a few minutes. So fun. The more you repeat something, the better you get at it. Pigeon pose, right knees forward, left legs back. Option to come into Ekaraja Kapotasana. So one-footed king pigeon pose. So option to stay here, keep the chest lifted, collarbones broad, or bend your left knee, reach back and catch your left foot. If you're a little tighter in the shoulders like me, I use the strap first. You can hook the loop of your strap around the foot and then swing your left elbow up towards the sky. Bring the right hand back to square the chest off towards the front. Push the leg bones down to lift the chest up. Now, option to stay right here, or take your right hand up, reach back, maybe catch the left hand, or walk the hands down the strap towards the foot. See if you can catch the foot. Once you have the foot, can you soften the pelvis down, lift the chest up, hold for 3, breathe. 2. Good, 1 last breath. Slowly release the foot and then come forward into a forward folded pigeon. So you can rest your forehead on your hands or on the ground and just take a moment to rest. 3 breaths. 2. And 1. Okay, come up and we'll switch sides. So when you're ready, bring your left knee forward and your right leg back. So coming to a proud pigeon first, come up onto your fingertips, lift your chest. Woo! Nice and proud. Option 1, you can just stay here, okay? You don't have to go any further. Option 2, reach back, catch the foot. Maybe use a strap if you're a bit tighter through the shoulders like I am. Swing the right elbow forward and then up. And bring the left shoulder back. Draw the left thigh bone back, right thigh forward into their respective hip sockets. Option to stay here or reach the left hand up. Bring it back. Maybe catch the strap. Good, and then maybe walk your hands down the strap. And then maybe catch the foot. Can you breathe? Lift the chest up. 2 more breaths. Push the leg bones down, lift the chest up, soften the pelvis down. 1 last breath. And then slowly release. Well done. Forward fold over your front thigh. Take 3 breaths. 2. Really breathe into the belly, into the low belly. And 1 last breath. Nicely well done, everyone. Please push yourself up. So I always like to follow asymmetrical back bends. So back bends where you're doing one thing with one side of the body with symmetrical back bends so that we tone both sides of the spine evenly. So please come to a kneeling position. Take your hands, fingertips pointing downwards on the upper bum. Now, this is quite a lot of intense back strength work. We're really strengthening, our QL. Lots of deep back muscles are having to be used while we do these back bends. So if you feel like you've had enough, then please just feel free to stay in a seated position, close your eyes, do a little med, and then join back in when it feels appropriate. Otherwise, fingertips pointing down on the upper bum flesh. Squeeze the elbows in. Now lift your chest up first. So if anything, you're just opening across the front of the chest. Keep the tailbone lengthening down just a little bit and keep the chest opening up. Good. Option to stay here or begin to lean the torso back. Maybe take the hands towards the heels of the feet. Push the hands down into the heels of the feet. Push the chest upwards. Send the thoracic spine up. Draw your chin towards your throat so the back of your neck is long. Stay here, or if it feels okay in your neck, begin to let the head drop back. Take a deep breath in and a full breath out. Beautiful. Look forward and then come all the way up. Beautiful. Sit down. Take a moment in a seated position. Close your eyes. Couple breaths. Check in with how your body's feeling. Try not to be judgmental or critical. Just tune in to how it feels. If it's saying that it needs a little bit of a rest, then just stay here. Otherwise, we'll do 1 more back bend. Option to do camel pose again, Ustrasana, or go all the way back into Kapotasana, where you let your head come all the way towards the floor and you take your hands towards your feet. Setting yourself up 1 more time for your last back bend. Now, let's pray to the yoga gods and goddesses that I can do this. Second time around. Okay, hands on the upper bum flesh, pressing the bum flesh down, lifting the chest up if you're doing camel. Otherwise, palms come together in front of your chest if you're working towards Kapotasana. Lift your chest up into your thumbs. And I always like to look back first, so it opens the chest a bit more. Draw the shoulder blades together. Look back, lean back. Go back. Press the tops of the feet down. Keep going until the head comes down. Then take the arms overhead. And once the arms are overhead, palms are on the ground. This is if you're doing Kapotasana. Then inch your hands back towards the feet, like they're little spiders or inchworms more appropriately. See if you can catch the toes. Can you press the tops of your feet down to lift the chest up? And then as you push the tops of the feet down, see if you can bring your head closer towards your feet. Push the feet down, push the shins down, push the knees down to lift up. Hug the elbows in. Push the elbows towards the floor. Breathe, deep inhale. Full exhale. 2 more breaths. Good, 1 last breath. Release your hands. Push through your hands. Come all the way up. Whew, getting a little tired. Okay, well done, everyone. Please come into a comfortable seat. Bring the bottoms of your feet together. I really like to sit on a block for this just because I'm a bit tighter in the hips. Baddha Konasana, cobbler's pose. Option to sit on a block. Hold your shin bones with your hands. Pull against your shins to lift your torso nice and tall. Close your eyes. So we've spent most of the class preparing for and working on back bends. And so before we begin to move the spine in the opposite direction, it's good to bring the spine back to neutral. So with your eyes closed and your hands on your shin bones, can you sit nice and tall, bringing your spine to a positioning of neutral. Can you take a deep breath into the body and a full breath out? 2 more breaths, trying to grow the crown of your skull up. Relax the shoulders, relax the face. And now maintain the length in your spine. So try not to forward, fold, and round. Try to lengthen forward and then lean forward. And maybe begin to walk your hands forward. And if you're on your block, I like to walk my hands so far forward that I shift my sit bones a little forward so it tilts the block anteriorly. So it helps me go a little bit deeper. Walk your hands forward, keep the spine long. So we're not rounding the back yet, or we're trying to avoid it at least. And reach the center of your chest a little bit more forward. Think about length in the spine first. Get long. So 3 more breaths here, just finding spinal length. And maybe a little bit more of an anterior tilt and a lean forward from the pelvis. 2 more breaths. Leaning the torso and the pelvis forward, walking the hands forward, pulling the hands back against the ground to bring your chest a little more forward. Take 1 more full inhale. And then exhale, if it feels all right, slowly begin to let your pelvis and your torso round. Just into a nice, gentle forward fold. Maybe interlace your hands around your feet. And maybe bring your forehead to touch your big toes. You take 3 breaths and let yourself soften with each exhale. And inhale, slowly come all the way up. If you're on a block, you can stay on it. Usually it's still helpful for most people. Cross your right shin in front of your left shin, so you're in Sukhasana. You do not have to be on a block, it's simply an option. Or if you'd prefer something a little more deeper on the hips, right ankle above on top of your left knee for Agni Stambhasana, double pigeon pose. And if you're going for that, make sure you're not sitting on a block anymore, that you're sitting on the ground. Okay. Inhale, sit tall. Wherever you are, exhale, forward fold over your legs. 5 breaths. 4. With each exhale, can you soften a little bit more? 3. 2. One last deep inhale. And exhale. And slowly come up. Hey, please take your right elbow in towards your right foot, or if you're not in Agnisthambasana, your right elbow to your left knee. Bring your palms together and twist. Just a very gentle twist. So nothing too forceful or aggressive, just a gentle stretch for the lats. Take one more deep inhale. Full exhale. And back through center. Let's switch sides. So your left shin is going to come in front of your right shin if you're just staying with Sukhasana, which is a beautiful pose. Or left ankle on top of your right knee for Agnisthambasana. Inhale, sit tall. Exhale, fold over your legs. You can take 5 breaths. 4. 3. Can you allow the muscles in your face to relax? Your jaw, your forehead, let it relax. 2. 1. Come up, twist to the right. Bring your left elbow to your right knee or towards your left foot. Palms come together, twist. Very gentle, try not to be forceful here. Just a gentle stretch for the lats. Try to breathe deeply into your belly. And one more deep inhale. Full exhale. Nice. Come through center. Both legs straight out in front of you. Inhale, reach both hands up to the sky. And exhale, forward fold over both legs. Let your head release. Can you take 5 breaths? With each exhale, again, can you allow yourself to soften a little more into the pose? Let your head relax. Try to let your shoulders relax. And one more deep inhale. Everyone take a full breath in. Exhale, let it all go. Inhale, come all the way up. Please lie down onto your back. Hug your knees into your chest. Just gently rock your spine a little bit from side to side. Take your legs to the right. As you look over your left arm, just a gentle twist. Let your arms and legs relax. Bring your legs back through center. Let them fall to the other side. Just a gentle supine twist. Legs come back through center. Make your way into Shavasana. Just like we've been saying the whole class, can you allow yourself to be fully committed to this shape? Just for a couple of minutes. Can you allow yourself to be fully committed to Shavasana? No hesitancy. Let your hands relax, let your feet relax. Let your belly soften. Let all the muscles in your face relax. If you can stay here a little longer, I'd recommend it. Otherwise, take a deep inhale, full exhale. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Take your arms overhead, give your body a big stretch. Bend your knees, roll onto your right hand side. And gently push yourself up. Hands to your chest, palms touching. There is power in fully committing ourselves to something. Can you thank yourself for committing to this practice, for committing to your health and well-being? Namaste. Thank you.